remember her scent.
Hello, YouTuber fans. I am Ken McKenzie Boldy. And this King's Ghost, Serena. Let's get into it.
This was taken on that crisp winter night at our mutual friend's hunting lodge. We came back indoors, laughing, giddy as teenagers. It was truly like an enchanted time, like we were in a magic circle where no sorrow or pain could touch us. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then.
You always put too much salt in, dear. Think about your pressure.
The furniture came with the cabin. Considering how off the beaten path this place is, that helped make up our mind. She made this with her own hands. She was really good. We use this trunk to store trinkets and papers, but I can't help thinking there's something of importance inside. It's too painful. I want to, but not yet. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one, since it can be locked. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Our refuge from the world, a place of warmth and passion. Sometimes we joked we needed to be so far out in the woods because that's how our sex life was, far out. The furniture came with the cabin, but the bedclothes we brought with us. A place like this needs some luxury, but without her, there are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. I feel too restless to sleep right now. Quite a large armoire for our admittedly Spartan needs. She uses most of it. We all have our skeletons in the closet, but not Serena. She was perfect. I'm not sure why, but I don't feel like opening it. The sole thought of it drains what little energy I have left in me. She used to keep magazines, paperback novels, usual stuff on these nightstands when we were staying here.
Good night, love.
She would always bring her reading material like I did. Why are these nightstands so empty? For some reason, light bulbs wouldn't last long in this lamp. I never looked into it. 2 days, 3 days tops, and bam, a brand new light bulb would burn out. Whenever her lamp didn't work, Serena would come by my side to read. A few moments later, she would lay her head down on my chest and fall asleep. The only reason this lampshade gathered less dust than the other one was that we had to keep putting new bulbs in this one. I don't sleep well without Serena next to me. Both a blessing and a curse, I suppose. It's a beautiful day, though there's an unnatural calm surrounding the area. I've always loved the hazy afternoon shades of this place. It's deep into summer, so there's a few hours left until it gets dark.
So this game is pretty interesting. It's really touching stuff, and I like it. It's pretty cool.
Pretty shambolic, isn't it? The organization of its contents isn't much better. It'd be a shame to say we're fashionistas. We were never that big on appearance. Serena has this mystical aura about her, even when she's wearing one of my mom's charming knitted sweaters. I do remember that on the night I first met her, she wore this beautiful purple dress, like she'd flown straight down from the night sky. I wonder what became of that dress. They prevent my blood pressure from skyrocketing. Doctor's orders. I'm generally not fond of taking medication. I find it hard to believe ingesting a few chemicals will do me much good in the long run. These keys are for the cabin and the car. If the keys are here, does she have her spare? I should probably stay here in case she doesn't. Did she even have her own spare? We also have a key for the outhouse, but can't be bothered to keep it anywhere other than under that rock next to the thing. We did have a night prowler once who left a mark inside the outhouse, but we rarely lock it anyway. I never noticed it before, but there's some rust on the ring. I should get a new one. Comme une évidence, Serena's favorite perfume. I've always told Serena that she doesn't need to wear perfume. Her presence is magical enough already. It smells so elegant. There's violet leaf and silk tree blossom, I think. This perfume is perfect for Serena. Why didn't I ever notice? We were happy for a long time. At least, I think we were. But as time passed, we fought about every little thing, even this. I keep looking at her things, remembering all the good and bad. Depends on how you look at it. Either a wonderful sensory stimulant and aphrodisiac, or a subtle weapon in the mating rituals of Homo sapiens. We were happy for a long time, at least I think we were. But as time passed, we fought about every little thing, even this. I keep looking at her things, remembering all the good. Depends on how you look at it. Either a wonderful sensory stimulant and aphrodisiac, or a subtle weapon in the mating rituals of Homo sapiens. The clock is a trophy from our flea market adventures. Chalk this particular purchase up to "Every cabin needs one." The ticking begins to feel homey after a while. The first night was a nightmare, though. time never mattered much to us while we were hiding from the rest of the world here, as long as we were together and happy. The clock, actually, I think it might have gone out of sync again. We used to keep a pitcher of water and a glass on this nightstand, but they're not here now. Come, love, with peace in your heart, said Niamh of the ice-blue eyes. It's based on an Irish folktale. Warrior poet Oisin goes to Tirnanog, a Celtic otherworld known as the Land of Youth and Promise. Niamh is of the Fae folk, the fair ones, fairies. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you. Sharing meals with a good red wine was one of the great pleasures in our relationship, especially in the intimacy of this cabin. We had such a wonderful time dining in this cabin. Serena loved to experiment with her cooking. Truth be told, not all the cooking she did was a resounding success. We agreed to never attempt doing ravioli again. I should probably eat. Can't remember the last time I ate. Yet I don't feel hungry. So much wisdom and happiness in this bookcase. My life would have been much poorer without all this. The smell of old books is intoxicating. What happens to wood pulp as it ages gives it that distinctive vanilla smell. I loved it when we took down one of my favorites and curled up on the bed to read together as the wind howled outside on cold winter nights. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. So many afternoons spent in this armchair.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. And cuddle.
What did we talk about? Damn this fallible memory of mine. The most comfortable spot in the cabin. Well, along with the bed, of course. I guess it's covered with grease and grime from cooking, mostly. There's probably nothing out there that I want to see, anyway. All the stuff I care about is inside. Well, except for Serena. No, I don't want to leave right now. There's still something for me in here. Sometimes she would brush her leg against mine under the table when we were eating. A curious, sensual thrill. The table is worn but sturdy, just like our relationship was. Or is. I just don't know anymore. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Serena enjoyed spice in our life. I preferred it more bland. We were so different on some points. I still can't understand. Even the features of her face feel hazy and distant, like remnants of a broken dream. I better stay in case Serena comes back. There's always a chance she might return. There's nothing for me out there. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any. Even we found this trunk big enough for. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. There are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head.
Well, I guess I'll end this episode here.